Okay, second annual video in my mom's garden. Here we are. Okay, hi, it's good to see you. Best part of YouTube recovery is exposure therapy, and here we are. And also, I miss this so much. I moved to New York a year ago. Life has been really different since then in really nice ways that this is like not the video to tell you about all of that, but there will be another one. Last year when I was moving across the country from LA to New York, I stopped here at home for a few weeks in August, and it was so nice, and I really just wanted to recreate that time, so decided to spend a little time in my hometown. And that always gives me a chance to breathe and like reflect, and I'm halfway through a fiction writing MFA program now, which is crazy. So a lot of my reading is it's a lot of that. Whatever book you pictured when I said that is what I've been doing. It's been amazing. And I'm still like reading for myself in between, especially during breaks, during the summer and during the holidays last year. I read so much, like more than I have since 2020. There was this line in James, which I read last year during this time, about like he gets the chance to read at one point, and the line is like, I was reading so voraciously, like I was starved and overeating, and that's exactly how I read over the holidays. I read the Shards for the second holiday season in a row, which I'm hoping to make a new little tradition for myself. Something about that book, as insane as it is so comforting to me. Really need to get that checked out. Sally Rooney last year, read it. Took me a long time, but it was a polarizing book. I was in the camp of it's really good, even though I didn't necessarily fly through it. The Garth Greenwell from last year was not the Garth Greenwell I wanted, but it was the Garth Greenwell we deserved. Last year, the best gay book I read was Ways and Means by Daniel Lefferts. I have been so like hungry for a book like that is so gay and wild and explicit, and also like kind of making a statement about politics right now, just the state of the world. I feel like I found that in It's Not the End of the World by Jonathan Parks Ramage, who wrote one of my favorite books of 2021, Yes Daddy. And I mean, it's a completely different mode of writing. It's a very ambitious book, and I'm not done with it yet. I'm sure I will be by the time I post this video, but I'm loving it so much. It's wild. It's a book about climate change and gay people and privilege and delusion and a baby shower. Basically, it revolves around a baby shower in this very like Mrs. Dalloway type way. Return of Ocean Vuong this year also was very welcome. I wonder how much of this bird action is being caught on my voice memo. They're going crazy back here. This is my mom's garden. It's so beautiful. This is the first time Ocean Vuong is writing in like long novel form. Even On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous was like his debut novel, but I mean, you read that book and it's like you're reading a poem, and it, you know, there's this very poetic structure around it. And I feel like this book really pushed him in a new direction of his writing. The most characters and the most conflict, and it's not like your traditional plot structure whatsoever, but it is sort of a quieter character study, a lot of New England, East Coast vibes. It's the kind of book where you just like read the sentences and it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna pack it up here. It was one of those for me, not unlike the Sally Rooney book, where the first half of it I read pretty slowly. It was a sort of a back burner book. It was my subway book, honestly. And then by the second half, I was so invested and had to get through it. And I think it's really beautiful when that happens. I love when that is my experience of a book. It did grab me in the first page though, because the description of where he is and just like this image of the main character on this bridge, he is about to take his own life and then gets taken in by this woman and becomes sort of her caretaker, and then also starts working at this fast casual restaurant that's kind of like a Boston Market type place. And just the cast of characters at the restaurant, you really grow to love this team. Oh my God, I'm thinking about them. Thinking about the wrestling scenes. If you know, you know. Best book I read over the holidays leading into the new year was Rejection by tulathimutte. This is a short story collection, which is not usually something I go for. I've been burned by way too many short story collections. I just have this awful aversion to them. But this was exposure therapy because I just heard about it. I read a certain review that really kind of pushed me in the direction of reading the first story, and then I was so hooked. It's a collection of stories about people who feel outcast from society. Kind of like plays around a lot with like who's the victim, who's the villain. You feel for these characters, but then they start really causing harm because of the rejection that they feel, and just like the cycle of absolute chaos and bad behavior. It's just written so well. It's crazy. That's another book that I really want to reread soon. The first 3 stories, especially the end of the third one, if you know, you know. My God, like the last sentence. Also the last sentence of the first one. My Midwest, my like Chicago literary fiction queen is Halle Butler. Her book Banal Nightmare last year, I read around this time last year and has really haunted me ever since. So shout out to that book. If you read her book, The New Me, the structure of that book really threw me for a loop. Like you kind of get into different characters' heads. And for a while, I didn't know what was happening until the main character started grappling with this thing from her past that really struck a chord with me. I mean, down to like the name of that character she was dealing with. I was like, oh, fuck. It's just like one of those very well-timed books that the way she deals with it and the things that this character goes through, it's like I did not know that anyone else like felt this way. And when a book sneaks up on you like that, it's, I mean, there will be hell to pay. I also love her books because they're funny, they're really thoughtful, they have really like interesting characters, and they don't really try too hard. She's like Otessa Moshfegh if your Billie Eilish is Audrey Hobart. I finally read The Future Was Color by Patrick Nathan. I was putting off this book for so long. I feel like sometimes when books are like PR sent to me, I see them in like a different category from other books that come out. And this was one of those books that I just unfairly like put in that category for some reason. But then I read this other review. Garth Greenwell talked about it actually. He wrote this whole essay about one of the sentences, and it really, it sold me. So I finally read this book, and it was so incredible. It's about the Lavender Scare. So if you liked Fellow Travelers, or just if you like historical gay fiction that is written by like a master, The Future Is Color was great. Earlier this year, I read the Edmund White sex memoir. Yes, it was like a sex memoir, literally, The Loves of My Life. It was so beautiful. Really tells the story of like living in New York and being gay in this pre-80s world, pre-Stonewall world. He wrote this like intentionally at the end of his life, and so the candid nature that he talks about these experiences with is, you know, a lot of these people are no longer with us. There is a section about his friends and lovers who died of AIDS, and it is so moving and is just kind of written in this really plain, really honest style that I really appreciated. And then Edmund White sadly passed away a few months after it was released. I'm just so grateful he was able to release this book, and that it was released when he was alive so it could be celebrated, sort of have one final, oh, it's a cardinal. Hey, Grandpa. So distracted by all these birds. Maybe it's Edmund White. So Edmund White is just one of our great gay authors, and super grateful to that book. Let's see. Every year I read the Emily Henry books. I do. Really enjoyed the one this year. What was it called? I don't remember. I always joke that it's my one straight book of the year is Emily Henry. Her Evelyn Hugo Dreams Fulfilled. I thought this one was really charming. I think I liked last year, Funny Story. Like, that's the best Emily Henry since Beach Read, I think, that we've gotten. Another straight book that I recently read is Early Sobrieties by Michael Deagler. I sort of read this, I started it as research, not even necessarily intending to finish it. I just wanted to see how he was writing about this character in his mid-20s, who's newly sober, because that is also the case in the book that I'm working on. And I ended up getting through the whole thing because I just, like, got to a point where I had to see it through. It definitely highlighted so much in this book. It's written in a way that is like almost short story like, where every chapter he has moved on to crashing at someone else's place, and then it's the story of that, you know, situation crashing and burning. So I enjoyed the pacing of the book, how we're moving from place to place but following this character in this very specific journey of early sobriety. And it's a difficult thing to write about. Like, are you supposed to be funny? Are you supposed to like force some insight into it when you know, your brain is sort of cloudy anyway during this time. And I thought he did a really nice job. And so I admired this book a lot. Enjoyed the new Alison Bechdel this summer. Spent something so charming about the just setup of this kind of COVID landscape that they're living in. It's the most like into her current life I feel like I've seen in her work. Maybe that's not true from longtime readers of her, but it was really funny. Didn't necessarily keep me coming back, but every time I was into it and like would read a chapter at a time every couple days, it was like a pleasure. Finally read the end of Eddy, and it shattered me, it broke me. It was a book that I had to like put away after I read it. It's not a long book at all, but I also had to read it sort of slowly. I wanted to devour it, but couldn't because like every chapter was kind of just really upsetting. But that said, it's such an important book, so beautifully written. Read it directly after the Ocean Vuong book, so was like not having that much fun this summer, apparently. Scaffolding by Elkin, I read. A friend lent it to me. It takes place in Paris. I was going to Paris, so I read it just to be that person, and I really enjoyed it. It's the story of this apartment and two timelines of a couple who lives in there back then and then now. That's the kind of structure that like just sells me right off the bat, and I really enjoyed it. I'd be interested to read it again now, like having gone to Paris for the first time, like having gone to Europe for the first time at all. I loved the style. Like it's told sort of in clips and these little vignettes. Every page is basically not even full, but that really helped the voice do this kind of like choppy, almost like unreliable thing. The new David Levithan book I absolutely adored. Songs for Other People's Weddings, in collaboration with Jens Lekman. The music is so good. The book is so good. It's a really charming story of a wedding singer who can figure out everyone else's love life except his own. And it's the story of these 10, I believe, weddings that he goes to as the wedding singer, and his journey of like working with a couple and writing a song about them, and then the overarching story of his love life, which is in a really, really frustrating place. The way David writes about love is just something I forever will admire, and is like why I love his writing. My favorite book of his is The Lover's Dictionary. So there are so many of the sentiments from that book I felt like had become even sharper and found their way into a bigger narrative here. And so I really appreciated that, with this being his next book for adults since that one. Food Person by Adam Roberts is a book written by a gay man. The protagonist is a straight woman. She has a gay roommate. So like the book feels gay in that way, and really, really cute, like comedic book about this girl who ends up ghostwriting a celebrity cookbook and just the shenanigans that go down with that. So it's a really fun book. I mean, will be like the most fun Netflix movie in 2 years, I'm sure. Really enjoyed the new Taylor Jenkins Reid this year as well, Atmosphere. It's been a minute for Taylor Jenkins Reid. Maybe I just feel that way because I read them all in 2021 and then immediately got Carrie Soto and Malibu Rising. So in the meantime, we've gotten Daisy Jones, the show, but like I've missed her so much. I was kind of like, what's going on? But she hasn't lost her touch. Taylor Jenkins Reid has this ability to tell a story over the course of decades of a life and of just years. The way she like is able to zoom in on the most important scenes from such a long span of time, I've never seen anyone do it quite like her. That is truly the secret sauce of her writing, I believe, is the way she deals with time and emotion and just makes the book feel really about someone's entire life. I feel like her writing is as good as ever in Atmosphere. And we love to see lesbians in space. In the 80s, any book that takes me out of 2025 lately, I'm so here for. So yeah, I think that's about it. That's what I've been reading. This was really fun. I will maybe try to make a video in less than a year this time. I've always had the idea of like going to my rooftop in New York and making a video, so maybe I'll make that happen this year. Please let me know what you've been reading. If you've read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to have a discussion in the comments. I've read more books, so feel free to follow or add me on Goodreads. So weird doing like the old YouTuber, like subscribe to my channel type thing. So anyway, I missed you. I hope you're doing well. Here come the cicadas. It's time for me to go. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you sometime soon, somewhere, somehow.